the YouTube police gets us, I better turn the radio off. Today we're going to take a journey, and we're going to take a journey through history. It's a period of time that's special in my life, and you will see as the story unfolds just how special that period of time was. Well, in the beginning, let's say 1940, everything was in black. Everything was, it was a period of time when we lived in black and white. Well, along about June the 30th, 1940, there was a little light that came on. The light was small and it glowed yellow, but there was enough of light that I could see I was looking at me. I was born. Well, the rest of the early 1940s stayed pretty well in black and white until about August the 6th, 1945. Over in a little foreign country, people were scurrying about 8 o'clock in the morning, or a little after, somewhat after 8, going to the market, doing stuff that a city dweller would do. And they heard a droning in the sky, and they all looked up, and some pointed. They could see one large aircraft in the sky, very high. But a few people from the 40s and the early years remember the droning sounds of a radial engine, 4 large radial engines. Well, they saw what appeared to be something falling out from under the bottom, and they watched in amazement as it come hurling down towards the earth. In a nanosecond, the brightest light known to man lit up. All the eyes looking to the sky began to boil, and the skin burned away from their bodies. We had entered the atomic energy era. We worked hard, our scientific world. There was a gentleman, great scientific mind. He came up with a formula called E equals MC squared. And a lot of the other scientists referred to that as let there be light. And there was light, and the light was good. The light brought people in other parts of the world a realization that the atomic era was here, and 3 days later the second light went off. Little boy and Fat Man. Fat Man was the last one. He was a big guy, and Hiroshima kind of evaporated on August the 6th, and Nagasaki on August the 9th, 1945. Well, the light slowly dimmed, and people went on their way of doing what they do. And 13 months later, September 1946, the light grew brighter. I could see all of me. I entered the first grade of school. I had obtained the key of knowledge. All was wonderful. Going to school was a thrill of my life. I knew this is where I needed to be. Well, things were all in living color after August the 6th, 1945. Everything was living in living color. That living color stayed with us, even though through the gloomy periods from 1949 to 1952, America found itself once again in war, and the blood ran red. We continue to move on. We begin to have wonderful movies like Peyton Place. We learned about things. We had wonderful cowboys, Roy Rogers, Gene Autry, and for the scientific people, scientific in nature, we had Buck Rogers. Now, we never did question the fact that the Man of Iron, Superman, he can stand there and let the villain take a pistol and shoot him 5 times in the chest. And it never did. We never questioned the fact that on the 6th round, after he fired the 6th round, and Superman was still smiling, the villain threw the gun at Superman and Superman ducked. We never questioned that. We never questioned when Roy Rogers would be riding along on his horse, and somewhere off in the distance, the Sons of the Pioneers would join in. Yeah, there were so many things we never questioned. Well, along about my 12th year of life, the light grew brighter. God Almighty come to visit me. He called me to the altar, and my life was changed forever, and my light was brighter. What a wonderful gift. It was given to me for free. Then about 2 years later, the light really got bright. I was 14 years old in 1954. It had already lightened up quite a bit. We had Elvis Presley on stage on the Ed Sullivan Show, wiggling his hips. But we couldn't see it because it was forbidden. That was a no-no. But when I turned 14 years of age, the light really got bright. One of my relatives that came home from the war, he was a pilot, and he bought a military surplus airplane, and he had it parked in, I believe, northern Jefferson County at a field called Campbell Field. And he said, let's go out and I'll take you for a ride in my Piper Cub. Well, I went out and I went to Campbell Field with him, and I had to sit up in the front seat. There was a stick in the front and a stick in the back, and he told me, he said, now I've got to go out there and prime the motor, and when I tell you to, I'm going to say magneto, and you're to turn this big knob right here to the front. Do you understand? Yes. Also, do you understand, do not touch anything in here? Yes. He turned it backwards, then he yanked on the crank there, on the propeller, and he said after he turned it backwards a couple times, then he got in the other position and raised his knee and pulled that propeller, but he said, "Magneto!" And I put the mag to the forward position, and the engine lit up, and we took off from Campbell Field, and we flew to Inslee, Alabama, Fairfield, above the steel mills. 17 miles of steel mills. At night, the sky would glow red from the color of steel being poured. And then we went down to Alexander City and flew over a lake. And when we was up at the highest level, I felt close to God. I felt like I was an angel, because I was looking from above the clouds down, and I thought what a heavenly experience that was. Well, when I come home from Campbell Field, my light got brighter. I was enrolled in Lyman Ward Military Academy, and I was to report to Lyman Ward that was down in Sylacauga, down in Camp Hill, Alabama. And I went down, and the light got brighter and brighter. I met people from all over the country that was going there. And I learned the military life, military strategy. I learned about obedience, and I learned about cadence and a lot of things. Never once would I dream, when the light went on in 1945, August the 6th, that 3 or 4 decades later, 3 decades later, I would end up making rockets that could deliver unimaginable power to anywhere in the world, called ICBM. My project was the Minuteman. My very first missile was a cruise missile. I never thought about me being a part of that. It was such a devastating thing that we went through during the end of World War II. But it was a time of revenge. We saw it. We were actually talked about it in church and stuff as being a part of defense. And the word defense was a whole lot better than revenge, because there's words in the Bible about revenge, and we wanted to skirt away from those issues. So defense. And I spent 22 years in defense, and it was a rewarding experience. I got to experience so many things. The light just kept getting brighter and brighter. I went to 2 or 3 different universities. I went to Seattle University. I went to Green River. I went to a lot of places to obtain the higher level of knowledge that was required for me to do and to perform the jobs that the company wanted me to do. A lot of children was born, a lot of wives, a lot of broken promises, a lot of things. My questioning, possibly God Himself, as all of us have questioned God. Why did God allow the tornado to kill all these people? Why did God? Anyhow, we got through the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 70s. But I will tell you, back there in 53, when music came into our lives, our toe began to start to tap. And then all the wonderful musical groups around the world. And I found the one thing that pleased the soul more than anything. When there was doubt about God, you could listen to music, your soul and your heart would be contented, and you could understand the people that brought you that music, regardless of the kind of lives they lived, they were inspired by God to bring us the one thing we needed, was soul contentment. And we got that. And the spirit grew in the 70s. Oh my God, the rock and roll parties and the places to go and the things to see. And life was vivid. It was quality living. And knowledge was everywhere. They came up with this thing in the 70s. It first was introduced to me in the 70s, called binary language. And then the advent of the home computer, and then we went through years and years of, developing the computer until it became a mainstay in everybody's family. And then you had, back in them days, bulletin boards. I remember when the thing called the World Wide Web was born, and it brought people, it made the world so much smaller. We began to see other people's faith. We began to see other people's quest for knowledge and quest for love. Oh, in every segment of every society, there's going to be an element of hate. We find ourselves now in a cycle of hate. I saw the same level of hate in 1945. And the light has grew dimmer for those that don't have music in their heart. Those with music to console them, those that can find peace and contentment in music. There's a wonderful gentleman in Australia. His name is David, and he can play music from the soul and heart, and he can paint. He can paint images that gives you warmth when you see it. If you look around, you'll find these kind of people everywhere in your life. We have them here in America. There's so many warm, wonderful people. Start naming names. There's a lot of my YouTube friends. I've got a lady up in Massachusetts, Miss Zena. What a lady! This woman does it all. She changes the lights in her bike, and she changes electronics, and she'll put a chain on, and she'll put a belt on, and she'll put a new clutch in, and she does it all. And she loves life. You can tell by her riding style. There's so much love in her. You have artists like Dean up there in Virginia, Audubon, Virginia. He can give you life on your arm. You can look at your arm, and through his artistry, he can paint a tapestry of your liking on your arm. He has a beautiful daughter that rides with him, and they have the best of life. Recycle Hooligan, what a man. He is a good, warm human being. God has smiled on him. Ray Gregory over there in Georgia, he's a great human being, a real warm human being. It don't take long if you look around, you'll find these people. I've got literally thousands. I've got people in Asia that love me. I love them. I get a lot of wonderful mail from them. They're bike riders in Asia. I've got bike riders in Europe that write me letters and tell me how much they love the American way of life. We have right now a rally going on in Sturgis, South Dakota. And it is a big, I think it's about 500,000 people have showed up. And you'll find every walk of life there, people that truly enjoy life. The bike has brought enjoyment to them. I've been there so many times. I love that place. I took my sister there in 2017, and we went to Knuckles. Being knocked down, drag out fighting in Knuckles. Anyhow, let me summarize by saying, look around, find happiness, replace any hate you may have. And if you can't do it alone, turn to God. Call out Jesus' name. He's just right there. He's in your heart. He is your reason of life. Enjoy. Find you an open road like I'm on here. The sky is so blue. It's 96, 97 degrees. Oh, my air temperature thing on the Harley here is really high. God bless each and every one of you. And today's topic was all about light. Let there be light. And there was light, and the light was good. Your birth was your light. It's up to you to make that light brighter. And if you shine that light bright enough, people will come to you. Just like moths to a flame, people will come to you because in your brightness of your light, you offer hope. And their light, when they leave, will be brighter. Mankind needs each other. And I'm proud to be a part of the biking life. 68 years of riding. I've been talking all of my life. God gave me a set of lungs that can talk for hours without even taking a breath. Anyhow, God bless you. Thank you very much for riding with us. And hey, who knows what the next chapter is going to bring? I don't know. But you'll certainly know it come from old Mac when you hear it. Let the breeze be on your knees. Let the sun be warm on your back. Let life continue. Quality of life when you're living. Not all humped up in a dark room, spitting into a cup, waiting for the end. Get out there and face it and live to the end. God bless you, my friends. Angelique and I wish each and every one of you a great day. Bye-bye.